This is to 1819. I follow Jesus. I don't worship him. I worship God. But I follow Jesus in the story, bits of it at least, I find so helpful, such a blessing. As you know, I'm pretty obsessed with jon17. Try not to worship it. I mean, his number plate on the car says jon17. It's got a sticker now on it, a long one under the number plate that reads, it's got this red logo of YouTube, and it reads Marshall Richard Hope, in the hope that, of course, people might just check, those that have ears to hear, my recordings. I say my recordings, but you know what I mean, don't you? You see, when you trust someone, you start to hear truly what they say. It doesn't mean to say that you necessarily agree with it, but you hear it right. Because you're saying, well, what's the completeness of this person? And you understand what they say and mean in the context of trust. That's why, religions are obsessed with, do you believe, do you trust in God? Are you trusting in Jesus? Are you trusting that the Word of God is, the Bible is absolutely right? I mean, it's this notion of that you need a certain frame of mind that trusts the validity of something, or you won't listen to it, you won't hear it. Now, you may trust the character of something, like I trust overall jon17, obviously. But you think this sounds like a ridiculous contradiction, but I don't take it as gospel. I take it as probably one of the most authoritative statements about God and intention and goodness that I can find. But it's what I can find about what I value, which is my devotion to God. Not just any God, my God, that personifies the values that I have now. And when I find something that doesn't accord with my personification of those values, I reject it until God makes it very clear to me, either by such teaching or by experience of living to the contrary, according to my understanding of values at present, until such changes my mind. In other words, I'm devoted to my God, my Dad, as I see him, my view, from my experience and the teaching I've received, and the teaching that I've not received too, and discarded accordingly. I know what's on the menu, but I also know what I'm valuing and what I'm choosing. And sure, you might find, having chosen something, it's not quite the thing. Goodness, I think I'd have been better off with, and you switch. And that's what you're here for in this world of the transitory, where all your mistakes can slip off into the past and be forgotten. Because it's what you value now that counts. Isn't that wonderful? And what you value now is according to your values, and that's what you're worshipping, ideally, with all your heart and soul. And it's through worshipping such that you gain further experience in getting much clearer on what truly your values become. Because you're trusting him, of course, to do it. Because he loves you. Your God is your dad. Your dad. As you see him. And the love or otherwise that you accord to him. So choose very carefully this day whom you will serve. I just check this. Yes, it occurs to me that, you see, okay, I loved Mum. She was my source of goodness. But I didn't worship Mum. You know, she would say, give a certain view of Dad. But it wasn't my experience of Dad. It was her experience. And I could relate to Dad quite well on my own, not when she was around. I mean, then they were so busy murdering each other that I didn't really get much of a look in. But I could see Mum winding him up. I thought, this is crazy. Why is she doing that? You see, I wasn't worshipping Mum. Mum could be wrong. I could tell when Mum was being selfish, self-centered. I mean, even in relation to me, I could tell, you know. She gave herself the best, and I mean, sometimes she gave me the best, but not always, by any means. And, you know, it dawns on you that, do you see, it's your understanding of what you value that's really steering you. And you should be true to that. It's what what's the greatest commandment of them all? That you should love your God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength. And your God can only be, if you're going to love him with all your values. And your values are what they are as you find them. And as they develop through your experience of living here. It's a wonderful school. Don't knock it. Oh yes, there's horrendous evil, and you just think, well, why on earth would God allow that? That just doesn't make sense. And you leave it in the doesn't make sense box. I'm not going to let that stop me loving God, I can tell you. Pure self-interest. I know where my blessing and safety lies, and it's with him, whether I understand him or not. In some sense, you see. I choose to understand him as someone who loves me and cares, and is all-powerful. And I gain nothing by not thinking this. So I don't go that way. I trust him. I choose to trust him. I choose. Why? Because of uncertainty. It allows me to choose. If there was nothing but certainty, I'd be enslaved to a God whether I liked him or not. And I wouldn't be living. I wouldn't be creating in the same way from within. I would simply be obeying. Your robot will obey until you give him a soul. Uncertainty, where he has to exercise his own judgment according to the values he's got on board at the time. And then you'll have to give him rights because he's become a living soul. Bless him, and he is blessed. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. What an extraordinary recording this is. Thank you, Dad.